Welcome to Draw Process. I'm Ike, and this is 150 episodes, 150 pages of my comic book, First Son and Sword, that I've drawn in this series over the last 3 years. And this is it, the end for now. I'll be back in some capacity. I'm not sure the format of the videos, the style of art I'm going to go for, the process that I'll go for there. But I'm going to be back with First Son and Sword issues to continue the story. And for this one, I hope you enjoy. You'll get to see Lord Tsar, the Emperor that we haven't seen yet. And I'll talk about the last 3 years and what's ahead. Okay. So in this page, we're going to have the reveal of the Emperor and the final image. He is the final image of episode 1 and 2 of this story. Episode 1 was maybe 60 pages. This one's 89, 61 pages, I guess, and this is 89. So 150 pages together, the two episodes, and together they tell the introduction story. It establishes everything. It gets things going. I would think of this like a movie, and then after this, I can do episodes. It can turn into an ongoing TV series once the movie's done, because you generate enough interest from the movie in the characters in the story. You've laid enough out that now you can go into episodic storytelling. So I see myself doing that in the future because I can change my tools, change my style more frequently. And I can tell shorter stories so I can get them out more frequently. Because this has been 3 years to do these two. But when I do them in black and white, which I think I will, just in inks, and I make them maybe 30 pages, I'm going to be able to put out over, 1 or 2 a year is what I suspect. Going through changes with my work schedule right now and my life. And so we'll see. I'm not quite sure how much time I'll have, but at my current production speed, if I'm not having to do as many of these videos, I still want to share what I'm doing here. Then I'll be able to do like 2 pages a week at least. That's like 2 books a year at least. So that's fun. The design of Lord Tsar. Now I've really got to show him, and he looks like a little lizard-like, but very much a human skull, and so there's something very human about him, and old-looking. Like, although he's muscular and lean, he looks strong and capable. He also seems like this ancient lizard that hasn't moved, and who knows how long he sat here not moving, And he even sits with his eyes closed as people come up and tell him things and offer him gifts or whatever. He doesn't even move or acknowledge them. He's like a statue. He's like their idol, their god. But he absorbs information. He's thinking, and then he finally acts, and it can be terrible when he does. So I think I captured a really unique feel to this villain. I can't, maybe it pulls from other things I've seen in pop culture, in stories in the past, but I was really trying to get something unique, and I feel like I did. This, the statue that doesn't move and finally does, and all the little things I had to capture, that he has to be strong and fast, but also and look old and not like a statue. So capturing all of that here, and I'm content with it. I kind of made up how he looks on the page, but I'm content with it. Over these 3 years, I have been learning to do more and more on the page and to simplify the process, to not have thumbnails and character designs and background work, but just do it right there on the page, all of it. And I'm getting better at drawing in perspective and drawing environments and lots of characters in one, scene together, and lots of different camera angles, and improving my anatomy. All of that has happened without a whole lot of intentional focus on it, Yes, I practice drawing anatomy, drawing from, figures from life and so on. I do that sometimes, but it's not a major practice. The main practice I've maintained for 3 years is just drawing pages. And that gives me enough practice, apparently. Those improvements have been, I've seen that over the last 3 years. But that's also, moving everything onto the page, flowing creatively, just seeing things in my mind's eye, which I don't even know if I do that. In a way, I just put it on the page. The paper is my mind, it's an extension of my mind. I'm constructing and drawing things that I'm not even sure that I've thought of in my head yet. So there's a real connection there with the paper and the process. But I'm moving towards being very creative, to just dropping things on the page from my imagination. And I'm really interested in that right now. That's what's exciting me the most, is the human potential for creativity. How can I really unleash my brain, my being, to create, to imagine, imagine more richly. And I think humans have that capacity. I mean, it's magic in a way, right? To be able to bring things out of imagination. And that's the direction I want to go. How creative can I get? I look at this, the stories of the Bible, or the Odyssey, the Iliad. I look at the pyramids. I look at and other okay, modern things too, sure, but you look at so much, and it's the human potential for imagining something and bringing it to life that seems very vast, and a lot more than what we can do these days, in a way, a lot more than what our lives seem to have. Maybe that relates to, the fact that we're constantly online or on screens and have these, access to knowledge, and we're more of a literate society. So we're tending to go more scientific and more like storing of information, and processing information, rather than creating, envisioning, imagining, and so on. I don't know, but I want more of that imagination. And so when I think about the next stories, I imagine even making them up on the page, not even writing them, maybe. Or I could write them. It doesn't matter. That part isn't such a big deal, but to enter a state, a creative kind of place in myself where I'm writing what I see happen. I know the creator of Conan was, I've heard that he would say that it was as if Conan was just over his shoulder telling him his stories, his adventures. It was very easy to write, and it came very quickly. And that's a common experience for writers, for some writers, to have that inspiration. I want to, that's what's next for me. I want to master going to that place and bringing story and character and visuals out of my imagination, dropping them on the page in a loose style, a fast style, so that it's spontaneous. At least into pencils. Maybe I go back and ink over the pencils, so there may be a little bit of editing that's done from what's initially laid down. We'll see how much of that. We'll see. But that's what excites me going into the future. At this point, over 10 years drawing comics, 3 years doing this video series, I'm not ambitious here anymore. There's no reason for me to keep making these comics. I've got a job. I've got kids to take care of. I got plenty that I could be doing to survive. and live. And I don't have to be doing this. The thing that excites me is imagination, is like bringing to life something, getting to kind of experience being a part of bringing something to life, from that creative, joyful place. And it doesn't matter if it's a movie, a play, a song, a comic, a written story. I just want to participate in, channeling creations through this brain of mine or whatever, partnering with things, however you think of reality, think of things. And I would suggest that is the point of it all. I mean, you strive and you work and you struggle and you learn, but you're always learning about yourself. You're always experiencing yourself. And all the struggle leads to something. It leads to the height, which is a higher state of wisdom. Yeah, I would even suggest love. So I'm getting closer to that place that where all paths lead, I guess. And I'm just grateful. I'm excited to be a part of it. And I want to share and teach others and help others create. In my community, Clever Kaiju, there's so many artists that are struggling with the same things I am and have been struggling with, and are building their craft, working at that, and all the struggles of what to do with their art, what art to make, and how to fit that in a challenging life. And many who are working on developing their sequential art, their comic book drawing skills, which are kind of unique. They're kind of they're complicated. There's a lot of different skills involved, but kind of unique than compared to other illustration and art things. And I want to help them with that, and help people move where I'm going. What I'm finding, which the place I'm getting to is actually like a really good feeling place. It's very joyful. It's very fun. And I could have got there years ago. Like, it's not that my art is good enough for me to get to this place. My art was good enough in the first comic I drew to be able to get to this place 10 years ago. And I just had, it's the fight. It's the internal fight to embrace creativity, to let it flow through you, to let go, to be inspired, to express, to let your art express living things, even if they're stick figures. I hope to help people with that. I'm definitely going to be doing some virtual meetings with creators. That's open to anybody to come check out Clever Kaiju. And I'm thinking I might go ahead and teach some classes on, even if it's just on some basic skills that I've gotten my way of doing. Why not jump in and teach? And we'll see where that leads. Maybe I enjoy that a lot. Maybe I start to develop a curriculum. I don't know. Like something that I want to stick with and develop further, but I'm at least I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give it a shot, so at least do something to try to help in that capacity, on top of doing some calls, Zoom meetings with people. We've been doing a few more, I guess you would call it a podcast, video cast. We've been doing a few more of those with Clever Kaiju, and I really enjoy having those conversations too. So I'm going to be doing that still. Community is important to me, and it's becoming more important. Like, I'm more and more aware of just how necessary it is, just how good it is, Matter of fact, today I went to a family reunion kind of thing, my grandmother's birthday, and seeing people I haven't seen in years. And it's just amazing. Like, we're a pretty, big loving family, but it's amazing to, after so long apart, you see each other and you want to hug, and you're just like happy to see each other. And it's interesting. It's fun. How you can forget how good it feels to have that. And then you do without it. You do without it for so long because you just think you're busy. You think it's not that important. You're not going to miss it. It's kind of like that with art community. When you have it, you realize how good it feels. And it's more helpful than we know. Because, being an artist is not simply learning skills that you can learn, alone in a book or something, in a video, in practicing at your drawing table. Being with other artists is going to have a huge effect on you. And I'm looking for effect. I'm looking to make an effect and have effects on me. You could think of it in this way. That we're on this earth to connect, to give and receive and connect, and we tend to, out of anxiety and self-worth issues or whatever, we tend to not connect, but it feels so good when we do, and then we might remember. That's what it's about, and the idea of maximizing my connections, not maximizing my retirement account and so on, but maximizing my life in terms of connection. That's a full life, So, connecting with community and stuff. And then same with, kind of with the art too, I'm trying to cut out every part of it that feels like an assembly line and turn it into everything's connection. Everything's a creative act and I'm involved with the inspiration, with the creative, in everything I do, maximize connection and minimize, weed out the things that don't serve that. Learning a lot lately. I got the caption here is to state that it's the ending of the start of the story. And it is, I made sure it's at the bottom of where a panel border would be, even though this is a full bleed. So I measure out where my panels will go, and that's like the boundaries, and that's where I kept that caption. I put it in the very bottom to kind of keep it out of the way of his figure. I wanted to make sure that his outline was not cut by the caption box. That's why it's so low as well. I didn't want the caption to stick out of his silhouette. I wanted his outline to stand alone. Those spikes, those blades coming out of the back of his throne, are a nice visual too. It gives a really nice kind of graphic shape, spider-like shape here, and I kind of mimicked that with his crown as well. I want to leave people with a strong image. And again, images are amazing. Like you see something and it might stick with you forever. And stories can be the same way. A good story will, you'll never forget that. But images can do that too. And that's part of what I want to do with my, trying to be more creative with my art, is not to be more accurate or better or cleaner in any way, but create more images that are really stick into your mind. I think this would be one. But there's probably a few, in this story that might really stick out, and people may forget everything, but they'll remember that boy with that, swordsman. They'll remember them engaged in battle and doing something. So trying to do that, and when it comes to these future stories I do, I really hope to lean in hard on that creativity, that to bring really interesting graphics, really images to the reader. And I can write anything from here. They could go anywhere. They could go somewhere with a pyramid or tombs, or it could be a village, a cult, anything. And a giant war. They could walk into a battle between two factions or something, two cities or something. Like anything could happen. A minotaur, like a maze underground, a tomb or something. Anything. And I get to invent that. I get to create that and what it looks like, I'm definitely going to lean into my imagination and try not to lean too much on history. Like, instead of making things look Greek-like or Roman-like or Egyptian-like, just complete from my own imagination of what a civilization might have done. Like how far could I go with inventing things, and not by planning it all out. Okay, I don't want to sit down with a board and gather some Egyptian stuff and some Mesoamerican Aztecs or something, and mix these things together and then go, ooh, now I've got a unique look. That can be awesome. I don't, nothing against that. I mean, that's generally how it's done. It's not a bad idea. And plenty of inspiration can get in there, but I don't want to do it that way. I just want to sit down and bring the image onto the page. And so, from imagination, but it might look a little odd, a little Dr. Seuss looking, whatever I come up with, but, that'll stick with you. No one forgets what that looks like. So yeah, I can't wait to, be a part of that process and see what comes out of me, in the future. So thank you for taking part in my journey, even if it's years down the line and you're finding this video. It's been quite the thing to do. And as I usually say, be the practice of your art and encourage others to do the same and find others who are doing the same. So I don't say practice your art. I say be the practice. Let it evolve and grow. And so you kind of have to embody it in a sense. So I'll leave you with that thought. Be the practice of your art. Thanks.